What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Building with Big. In today's episode, we will be doing the coop that we just built in our Let's Play the other day. I did get a comment asking for me to do this, so that's why we started off by doing it this time. But yeah, I'm back from vacation. I'm pretty happy with the time that I got off. I ended up traveling back to my home state to see my family, so that was pretty great. But yeah, let's hop straight into this. I'll show you guys the build on the inside, show you the functionality, and then we'll get to the step-by-step for this. All right, so first let me show you the outside of this build real quick. So as you guys can see, it was color-coded just like my other builds. You can see the pig farm there and the sheep farm over here. So the sheep farm is like a purple pinkish, this one's a white, and then my barn for the pigs is turquoise. So I'm pretty glad with the choices there. It ended up being really nice, but this is what it looks like on all angles. You guys can see the step-by-steps over here real quick. But yeah, that's what the outside looks like in case you weren't there for my Let's Play episode. This is the inside. So this is very functional. These chickens are very loud, but basically how you get the chickens in here is you can just like walk right here and just throw the eggs, and then they stay there, they drop eggs, and then it fills up in here, right? So that's basically how this works in here, and it works great. So we have a piece of mud right here, and then under it we have a hopper where the eggs go through the mud into the hopper. And I thought it would be funny to add like little nests to make it look a little bit more realistic. So yeah, this is what that looks like. I still never decorated the top. I didn't see any reason to, but if you really wanted to, you could throw some chests up here and then put the eggs up here if you really wanted to. But I kind of leave it like this, so in case you do want to throw the eggs in from the top, you can. I just chose to throw them in from the bottom. But yeah, there is access, and you could put more chests up here if you wanted, but no need. You guys can design that however you want. It is kind of cool to have a little area up here. But anyways, let's hop right over here real quick. I want to show you the block palette that I used. So I have the oaks, I have some spruce, as well as dark oak, birch, and calcite, as well as smooth quartz. Those are really the main blocks. I do have a couple chests in here, and then the coarse dirt for the flowers that go around the build, which is pretty nice. And I can't forget to show you the gray stained glass pane. It blends in these chests every time, so it's pretty hard. So if you guys want to take a screenshot of what the block palette is, go ahead. You guys can change this up to whatever you want. The only thing that I suggest keeping the same is always keeping the spruce palette added to these builds, because they have like the beautiful trapdoors as well as barrels that you can use as extra decorative pieces. So that is my decision for that. You guys can change it up how you want, but first off, let's hop over to our step one. I did step one a little differently this time. So this is our step one. Basically, I laid out where I wanted the pillars to be. I laid out where the door is with the dark oak, as you guys can see. And I laid out where I wanted the hoppers. So with this build, essentially what I wanted to do was I wanted to set it to where I already knew where the chicken coops would be. So I basically built it around the redstone, or if you can even call it that, the hoppers basically. I wanted 10, so that's where the hoppers are right there. So I knew one chicken would be there, here, 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 as well as right there at the end. So I did it that way, as well as added pillars, so you guys knew that there would be pillars on the inside in between each one. So that's basically how I did this here. So if you guys would like, you guys can take a screenshot in just a second. Here are the dimensions right here. There you go. That should be enough time. But yeah, essentially I just lay it down here just so I have a general shape. Where you see the two planks here, I knew I wanted to do stairs because I had an idea of having the coop be lifted, because most coops are, so like coyotes and stuff can't get in them. But yeah, that's the idea. I already kind of had it planned out to be lifted off the ground, as you can see right there. So that's where we're at here. Let me move us on to step 2 real quick. All right, so with step 2, essentially now is the point where we frame it and we start getting the height and everything shaped out. So as you guys can see, I started with the redstone here. I have the hoppers facing in because that's where the chest will be, as well as the flooring. I did make the flooring about half slabs right here. And then I do go down below these. So if you're looking down at the chest, you're not going to see straight down onto the grass. And I will put trapdoors under them just to block off some of the view. And yeah, that's really about it. I basically just framed it out so it's possible to get the eggs in from the top, because I did think about that. I wasn't sure if it was going to work just having it right here. So yeah, that's basically my thought process for this, was to get a general shape out, and I didn't want the front to be the exact same as the back, since we do have a door here. So I switched up by adding 2 pillars for the front and 1 pillar for the back. And for now, let's show you the dimensions. There we go. So that's the dimensions for our step 2 here. Like I said, just frame it out, make sure everything's fitting and looking decent, and then we move on to the next step. So for step 3, like you guys know, I tend to just want to put walls in. So that's basically what I did. I put walls in and just basically shaped it out, put a little bit of a flooring in, decorated the inside a little bit to try to figure out how I wanted it to look on the inside, because for me the most important was more the inside and the functionality of this. So that's why I built it based off the inside. So as you guys can see, I added some dead coral to make it look like there's a little nest, as well as the flooring, like I said, block off the bottom so you can't see straight into the grass, and then have my half slabs so it's not too uncomfortable, right? So if this was a full block, it would not feel nice, and if it was stairs, it wouldn't feel as nice either. So that's why I went with a half slab, especially since I wanted it low enough to where I could still have the chest peeking up above the block. So yeah, that was kind of the thought process I had for that. And then yeah, so let me just take us on to that next step real quick. All right, so on to step 3. So as you guys can see, this is a big step. So essentially, with most of my step 3 is adding the base layer of detail. So because of how I wanted this build to look, I ended up going with some stairs for the lower half instead of doing my usual block palette switch. I just wanted to add more depth because it is pretty blocky of a build, and I didn't want it to be bland, especially since I knew that we had the coops on the inside, so I couldn't do like windows or anything with that. So I just switched out a lot of these blocks for stairs just to give it a little bit more depth, and it might not look that great, but it doesn't look terrible either. You can switch this up and kind of design these side panels however you want. I just did it like that just to add that light little bit of depth, because I know I'm going to go back through and add more detail, as you guys can see over there, and it makes it look fine. And then the back, I did my casual block palette where I do the oak logs with the oak planks, and that's how that's how I generally do it. With the wood pallets is just use the planks and then the logs to kind of mix it up. So I did that, and then I shaped the roof how I wanted it to look. So that's generally what I tend to do for the most part. So if you guys would like, I will let you guys take a screenshot of the side here real quick with some dimensions. Then I'll show you the front side. All right, and I don't think I did anything crazy. I just added in the chests as well as the barrels just to kind of mix it up because I didn't want double chests going all the way across. It just didn't look as nice to me for some reason. But yeah, the barrels look real nice added in, and it gives it a little bit of a mixture, but I did keep the chest in front of the hoppers, and then I added some ladders to the roof. So that's really about it, and then I added some light as well. Nothing too fancy, and you guys know my build style, so you know I like to do a little pillar that comes out with a stair as kind of like a little light holder source. I'm not really good at explaining it, but yeah. And then what I did was I just wanted to do something similar to what I had over here where I had the lines of color. Now the issue was I didn't know how I would do it around this window, so essentially I just did one line this time, and plus I didn't want it to look exactly like that. That's why we went with the dark oak roof. But yeah, so I added calcite and then basically went back through and swapped out some of the calcite for the smooth quartz, and that was really about it because I knew I was going to go back through and add a little bit more depth and texture, and that's something you guys can do on your own as well. But yeah, I also added a couple fences around the outside. It looks like I accidentally added a couple here, but that's not supposed to be there right now. But yeah, this is like the main layer of detail, and you could leave it like this and it would look just fine. Let's move on to the final step so you guys can see some of the details. You do not have to do the outside the way I do or anything like that. You could just have this be a standalone build in your world without an outside area. I just do the outside area just to give it a little bit more of like a vanity look. So yeah, so all these chickens are pretty much tied down to the ground. I have some seeds as if you're like throwing the seeds out. I have the cup there, the shovel, as well as some of these little egg nests out here. So I gave it the appearance of open concept as well. But yeah, nothing too crazy on the outside, just a lot more detail. I throw in a lot of different block palettes for the flooring, but like I said, this isn't really about the outside, but if you do want to do the outside, I'll let you look at it just for a little bit here from different angles. You guys can pause and copy as you please. And then I'm going to show you the detail I added on the outside. So as you guys can see, we added the detail here. So if you would like to screenshot this real quick, go ahead right now, screenshot this and start copying. And then I'll show you from the sides as well. As you guys can see, there's the little fences right there, but you guys can add that later. And as you guys can see, I did add a little bit more depth to this roof. So we have some half slabs, we have some trap doors, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. It just makes it look nicer in my opinion, not as clean and smooth, but you also still get the symmetrical look, right? So just a little asymmetry. And then as you guys can see, I added some not fences, these are signs to the side just to kind of give it a line. So I used a full block here just so I could use these signs and give it a little extra color. So there's a little bit more color on the side right there. And as you guys can see, I did block up those fences for the ground, but you guys don't necessarily have to do it. I did it specifically because I was color coding this. If you aren't gonna color code it, you could probably just use the same birch for that layer as well, and then you could leave it open down here as well. But I wanted to go with the white flowers with the white birch trap doors. And once I update to the new snapshot where they have like the pale wood, I will probably switch out a lot of this for pale wood because that is kind of the block that I've been waiting for, but we haven't got that figured out. Here's the backside if you'd like to take a screenshot of this real quick. There you go. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, half slab, stair, half slab, and then a little trapdoor right there at the end. I just like to make it so it's more of gradients, you know. This last step is really just like enhanced detail. Just detail it as much as you possibly can, and make it look more smooth. As you can see, I added like a low hang, almost as if these little pillars are holding up the roof right there. You guys might not like that design. That's fine. You guys can change this up as much as you like. I just thought if you wanted to copy it, go ahead. I also added like a little circular doorway here from the outside. So that is what I changed up. On the inside, this actually has no difference. This is the exact same as step 4, I believe. This is really all the same. So if you guys are happy with how this looks, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe down below. Well, that's probably about it for today's episode. I'm really glad you guys were able to stop by. I know this isn't as long as I may have before. It's just we've talked about these builds before, and I might switch up how I start doing these tutorials to where I just show you how to build it instead of just letting you guys take screenshots, things like that. You guys let me know down in the comments below how you would like me to do these tutorials and building with bigs for now on, and I will start doing that. If you guys would continue to like to hear me talk about the details and my thought process for how to build this, please let me know. I will try to add a little bit in between my builds and see how we can continue with both aspects to make it a little bit better of tutorials for you guys. Like I said, I'm not used to doing tutorials. They're definitely not my forte, but if you did enjoy and think I'm doing a little bit better, please smack that like button. I will see you guys all in the next episode. Bye!